going on here. And we've seen, I was saying with Adrian before, we've seen Delver of Secrets in a number of decks, both in Standard and in Legacy. I think this is the best pure Delver deck I've seen. Because it's a deck that takes advantage of the fact that Delver is a incredibly powerful creature for doing a lot of damage. And while that's great with cards like Tarmogoyf, cards like Stifle, those are cards that buy time for Delver to do more damage.
Right.
But you take advantage of that damage. You're like, all right, well, what are you at? Oh, you're now at 0. So what were the really things that you were thinking about building this deck?
Well, my initial reaction, and I originally wanted to just play like Rug Delver.
Okay.
I ended up deciding not to do that. Mostly, I was kind of forced not to play Rug Delver because.
Okay.
Man, really was rough. Right. I was riding down here with 3 other people. They were all planning on playing Tropical Island decks. So there's no way I'm ever going to find Tropical Islands. Mm-hmm. So I started like, how can we just build it without, basically? And the logical solution, just play Blue-Red, replace Tarmogoyf with some other threat. Goblin Guide came to mind, and then pretty much all the other changes kind of followed from that. Sure. Once you have Goblin Guide, you don't want Stifles and Wastelands. That's kind of a weird.
I'm not a big fan of some of those cards anyway. Like Stifle, you're not messing around. You don't want to mess with that. You want to.
Yeah, there were. Well, I say I just originally intended to play Rug Delver. There were when I showed up to our local store Friday, intending to meet the people I was riding with to go to some of this tournament.
So you're saying you've been working on this for a while.
It was in my head. Absolutely not. This was a brew.
I like a brew.
A good brew. An off the cuff brew for sure. But I intended to play green white, like the Maverick deck.
Okay.
And I'd worked on a list I liked. I showed up and told everybody I'm going to play green white, and I got poo-pooed out of the room.
Sure.
Everyone there was just like, "Don't you dare play that dirtly ass do nothing deck." I guess I don't have enough backbone. I was just like, fine, I won't play green white.
You got so browbeaten into it.
I was browbeaten into an open.
What a bunch of jerks!
Yeah, I know, right? So these guys over there.
Are you buying them dinner?
Well, I wasn't. On a hook now.
Guess I have to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. All right. Yeah.
Steak and shake.
Yeah. Steak and shake it is.
The only thing open now.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Whatever they want. Yeah. They're good. So on the way down here, we kind of just hashed out some different things, decided what we did and didn't want. We thought about. We had Wastelands and Stifles. We didn't have Wastelands and Stifles. We thought about how many basics, how many duels, and all this. There were just a lot of little tweaks, but
sure. And it obviously performed very well for you. You didn't even drop a game in the top 8.
Yeah, it ran really well.
306 right there.
We were talking about how your Goblin Guides were very stingy.
Where did you get your Goblin Guides?
Very stingy.
They were stingy. They were stingy all tournament. I played against lands in round.
This is gonna be good.
Yeah, it's either round 5 or 6, and I had a Goblin Guide in like turn 1, game 1. I wasn't sure what he was playing, so I just ran out Goblin Guide, and he reveals Exploration. so I'm like, well, this is not optimal, but it wasn't a land, so cool, mice. I attacked 5 times with that Goblin Guide. He got
lands.
He got a single card out of that Goblin Guide. He revealed Exploration. I think he revealed Exploration 3 times.
Wow.
And like a Mox Diamond, and I lost that game still. But I won the match.
But it still makes a good story.
Yeah,
exactly.
Good my Goblin Guides were, all day. I think my opponents all day probably drew 4 cards off my Goblin Guides.
That was 277 people, all the way down to 1. Not only do you have the whole way that the Delver's going in this deck, but you have Price of Progress and Snapcaster.
Sure,
that is incredible.
That was actually what sold me on it.
That maybe would kill your lands opponent, I'm guessing.
That's how we did it. That was the selling point. I was like, Blue-Red, that's kind of cool, whatever. Goblin Guide and Legacy, there's Brainstorm's a thing, that's weird. And then someone was like, dude, you can play Price of Progress, and then Snapcaster. I'm like, sold. On board. Right. Let's get brewing. Yeah.
Well, now that you were the winner, obviously the deck performed very well for you. If you were going to make any recommendations to someone else who's looking to play this deck, are there any changes you might make?
Perfect, as is. This brew,
a work of art.
I'll lose with it. I did lose. I lost a match to Blue White Stoneforge. Basically, I lost to Sword of Fire and Ice.
Sure.
Yeah, that card's a pain. One of the very last change I made to the deck, there are 2 still Fury Vortex on the board, which did great. Yeah,
pretty good for you.
That was clutch. But but the thing is, they would have still been clutch. It turns out, because originally they were smashed to smithereens.
Ah, that was the one that was
Yes,
smashed to smithereens.
yes.
I was talking
Gotcha.
about that
Yeah.
earlier, and I remember you were saying that Sulfuric Vortex was the card that you were just bringing in against Batter Skulls and things
Yeah.
like that.
Well, and part of the reason I justified it is like, well, you want Smash the Smithereens against Batterskull and GTA and things like that. Vortex works there. So, yeah, like, in the semifinals when I had that Vortex, I'm like, this card is doing great work. But then, like, well, the thing I replaced would have been good, too. So
It's true. It's true.
Like, I'm not sure which is better. And honestly, the blue-white matchup, it doesn't seem good. I lost. That was my loss in the Swiss. And then, I don't know. The games against Van Meter, they really felt like they could have gone either way. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I actually think that the Sulfuric Vortex might have done better for you because you were actually able to preemptively put it out there, and he was tapped out. But later on, in a different point in the game, I mean, there might have been a moment where he would have been able to have a spell snare for it.
Sure.
And a Sulfuric Vortex dodges as a 3 so many different counter spells.
True.
And then let's pretend that the game is in a dead state, but they can't wait around.
Right.
If you've got a Smash the Smithereens in your hand, they can just maybe wait.
yeah.
So,
Well, and in the semifinals, I had to tap out and he plays Days, so I was like, well, this could be. But I just did it. He didn't have it. You know,
Yeah.
I run good. What can I say?
Well, it's a good time to run good. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Very well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see you win. I have enjoyed working with you a little bit on Magic
Like
Online
watching you
now and
play. Very excited about the deck. So very cool. So thanks a lot.
Congratulations.
All right. So.
It's in the books.
Yep, everyone's been watching. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to the venue here, the city of St. Louis.
And Collinsville, Illinois. Don't
Collinsville,
forget
Illinois,
that.
yes. All of our judges, they did a great job running a great event with so many players. 577 players for the standard, 200 and lots and lots. And thank you for all those very many players who
Right.
came out. The staff who did a great job making everything run smoothly.